1961 was a special baseball season. Roger Maris belted 61 home runs, breaking Babe Ruth's single-season mark of 60 set back in 1927. Along the way, a back-and-forth chase with teammate Mickey Mantle caught the attention of an entire nation. 50 years later, the M&M boys might not be around to celebrate the memories of that historic season, but we recently caught up with some of Maris's children, Randy, Richard, Kevin, and daughter Susan in Gainesville, Florida, to discuss the season that will forever immortalize their father.
Mickey and your father were tied at 45, and then he pulled away, and it was Mickey who got hurt that year. So do you feel bad for Mickey that he couldn't continue? Was there, obviously there was a competition, but what was it like from 45 when your father broke away from him?
I mean, I think Dad and Mickey were always competitive, whether they were swimming, or racing, or whatever. You know, they didn't want to lose to each other, for sure. You know, but I think that competitiveness drove both of them, you know. And when Mickey went down, you know, I'm sure Dad, you know, would have liked to see Mickey still be in there. You know, granted, I'm sure Dad would have wanted to still outduel Mickey, but you know, it would have helped the team, and probably would have helped him more if Mickey stayed there. You know, and you know, no teammate likes to see anybody down.
Do you think he could have hit more if Mickey was still pushing him?
You never know.
I think it would have fueled it. Yeah, I think they both would have been competitive with each other. I mean, you look at the whole McGuire and Sosa thing. That was, you know, back and forth, back and forth. I think it fueled those guys to go out and do more, do their best. And I think the same thing would have done for Dad. Now here, Dad's alone on this chase. He didn't have the reporters going to Mickey. Now it was all to him in a little cubicle with throngs of reporters asking the same questions over and over. I mean, that's tough.
Sal Durante caught the ball, and he actually wanted to give it to your dad. And when he met him after the game, and your dad said, "See, there are some decent people left in this world." Did you ever meet Mr. Durante? Have you talked to him since? I mean, what has that been like, that relationship?
Yeah, I talked to Sal. Andy Strasburg, as a matter of fact, took my son, who's Andy's godson, up to Yankee Stadium for his 13th birthday, and Andy, the type of nostalgia guy he is, had Sal and his wife come to the stadium and meet with us, so we got to walk around with Sal and talk to him about it. And you know, he's just a wonderful guy, down to earth, and you know, still sends us Christmas cards, and we appreciate that. I heard he just went up to Yankee Stadium too here to see the new Yankee Stadium. I read about that in the paper, so that was neat too.
What was that day like on Andrew's birthday, his 13th birthday?
It was a great time. Andy had called us and said, "Hey, I want to take Andrew for his 13th birthday up to New York." So my wife and my father-in-law and me and Andrew went up and met them up there, and we ended up meeting Tony Moranti, who works with the Yankees as a tour, sets up the tours, and he took us around. We went down in the dugout, went down in actual locker room, and it's interesting because Dad's locker was still there because he shared a locker with Thurman Munson as well. So that was really neat to see there, and Andrew was just my son was just in awe of everything. And knowing Andy, of course, he throws "Happy Birthday, Andrew Maris" up on the scoreboard. So, I mean, his face just lit up. It was awesome.
What was his reaction when he saw his grandfather's plaque for the first time?
You know, I don't think at age of 13, I don't think it hit him as much as it would if he went up and saw it now. You know, I think he was the biggest thing was seeing his name up on the scoreboard. You know, but I think it was just a wonderful day, and like we were discussing before, you know, going into Yankee Stadium, walking through the breezeway, and you get that rush coming back in. I think that was a feel for him that he got. It was just in awe of everything that day. So to point out one thing was better than the other, I don't, except for that scoreboard. He loved his name up there.
Don't we all?
Yes, we do.
When that stadium came down, when they decided to build the new stadium, did that tear a little bit of you guys away, knowing what your father did in that stadium?
It wasn't so much what Dad did in the stadium. It's just all the history in that stadium. Like I just said, you know, the first time I ever went there was when Dad's in '78, I believe, when his first old timers game up there. And just walking out into that breezeway, it was just like, man, it just tackles you, it hits you. Of all the great players that have been there, the history, and Monument Park, I mean, I just loved the old place. I really did. I haven't been to the new one yet, looking forward to seeing that, but it was sad for me to see them tear that down.
Kevin, Randy, you both coach baseball.
Yeah.
What did you learn from your dad that you try to instill into your players here at St. Francis?
And do it first class. Do it right the first time. And hard work and discipline. Doing it the right way will get it done. Don't cut corners. You know, and just be fundamentally sound. You know, Dad took pride in every aspect of the game of baseball. You know, from throwing to the right base, running the bases properly, hit and run, bunts, whatever. And we try to instill that in these young players, and you know, they try to do a decent job of it. You know, but again, they're young guys, and you know, some are more disciplined than others at different times. And you know, you have seniors getting it done, freshmen sometimes getting it done, but you know, each year is a progression for each guy. You know, and we just try to, you know, pass on the knowledge that Dad, you know, gave to us. And you know, luckily enough, we're, you know, coming across all of Dad's friends over the years. You know, we got a lot of tidbits from a lot of different players. You know, and to be able to pass that on, and you know, it's fun to see. You know, and I don't know how you feel.
Yeah, no, it's the same way. I mean, we try and teach them integrity, you know, character and hustle. You know, look, like my dad said, treat everybody as you want to be treated, okay? And that's what we try to do with our players on and off the field, have them respect the game and respect the people that they're playing with and respect the people they're playing against. And, you know, we think we do a pretty good job, but you may have some parents saying we don't, but, you know, that's baseball.
There it is. There it is. If it stays fair, there it is, number 60. That. There's standing ovation. A standing ovation for Roger Maris, who got number 60.